Now we come to the 53rd chapter, Jhana-samyutta, concerning jhanas. This word jhana is a state of meditative absorption. When they first started translating Pali texts into English, they did not understand the meaning of the word jhana. So they translated it as trance. Trance is like you enter a state where you are bodo-bodo, blur-blur. You don't know what's going on. So because of that, some people have a misconception that jhanas are useless. When you enter jhana, you are not aware of anything. You are like asleep or half asleep. So that's why some vipassana monk, some famous vipassana monk says that jhana is useless, that there is no sati when you are in jhana, so it's of no benefit, there's no mindfulness. But it's totally not true. When a person enters the jhanas, the mind is clearly aware, clearly mindful, intensely mindful, in fact. Cannot be more mindful than in jhana. So, also as a person experiences jhana, the five hindrances drop away and the mind becomes bright. The higher the jhana, the more bright the mind becomes. And in the suttas, the Buddha says the condition for seeing and knowing clearly is a mind that is bright. In other words, a mind that has cultivated jhana is the best condition for attaining wisdom, because you are able to see and know clearly. Okay, 53.1 at Savatthi. There the Blessed One said this: monks, there are these four jhanas. What for? Here monks, secluded from sensual pleasures, secluded from unwholesome states. This word secluded can also be translated as aloof, aloof from sensual pleasures, aloof from unwholesome states. A monk enters and dwells in the first jhana, which is accompanied by thought directed and sustained, with delight and happiness born of seclusion. With the subsiding of thought directed and sustained, he enters and dwells in the second jhana, which has internal confidence and unification of mind, is without thought directed and sustained, and has delight and happiness born of concentration. With the fading away as well of delight, he dwells equanimous and mindful and collected. He experiences happiness with the body. He enters and dwells in the third jhana, of which the noble ones declare, he is equanimous, mindful, one who dwells happily. With the abandoning of pleasure and pain, and with the previous passing away of joy and displeasure, he enters and dwells in the fourth jhana, which is neither painful nor pleasant, and has utter purification of sati and upekkha. There is utter purification, a complete purification of mindfulness or recollection and equanimity. These are the four jhanas. Monks, just as the river Ganges slants, slopes and inclines towards the east, so too a monk who develops and cultivates the four jhanas slants, slopes and inclines towards nibbana. And how monks? Does a monk who develops and cultivates the four jhanas slant, slope and incline towards nibbana. Here monks, secluded from sensual pleasures, secluded from unwholesome states, a monk enters and dwells in the first jhana, and then similarly as before, in the second jhana, third jhana and then fourth jhana. It is in this way, monks, that a monk who develops and cultivates the four jhanas slants, slopes and inclines towards nibbana. It's the end of the sutta. So here you see, the Buddha has stated very clearly that just as the river Ganges slants, slopes and inclines towards the east, so when you practice the four jhanas, you will slant, slope and incline towards nibbana. So there's nothing better to practice than the four jhanas if you want to attain nibbana. That's why in some suttas the Buddha says that the footprints of the Tathagata, the footprints of the Buddha, are the jhanas. So if you want to follow the path of the Buddha to nibbana, you have to follow his footprints and attain the jhanas. Otherwise there's no hope of becoming enlightened. And also in Majjhima Nikaya Sutta, Buddha said that it is impossible to eliminate the 5 lower factors without the 4 jhanas. One who eliminates the 5 lower factors is an anagamin and also an arahant, third fruit and fourth fruit. So that's why in the Noble Eightfold Path, perfect concentration is the 4 jhanas. Okay, the next Samyutta is 54th Samyutta, Anapana-samyutta. Anapana is breathing in and out. Breathing in and out, breathing. 54.1 at Savatthi. There the Blessed One said, monks, one thing when developed and cultivated is of great fruit and benefit. What one thing? Mindfulness of breathing or recollection of breathing. And how, monks, is mindfulness of breathing developed and cultivated so that it is of great fruit and benefit? Here, monks, a monk, having gone to the forest, to the foot of a tree, to an empty hut, sits down, having folded his legs crosswise, straightened his body, and set up mindfulness in front of him. Just mindful he breathes in, mindful he breathes out. I stop here for a moment. People like to ask, what is this? Set up mindfulness in front of him. What happens when you set up something in front of you? You only see it, isn't it? You don't see any other thing. When you put something in front of you, you only see it, you don't see any other thing, right? So when you set up mindfulness in front of you, you have full sight of mindfulness. Mindfulness, you have the sight of mindfulness. That means you are only aware of mindfulness. You are not paying attention to any other thing. Okay, you only see mindfulness. You're only aware of mindfulness. That is the meaning of set up mindfulness in front of him. He sets up mindfulness in full sight. Set up mindfulness in his sights. So just mindful he breathes in, mindful he breathes out. In other words, he's paying total attention to mindfulness of the breath. He's not paying attention to any other thing. It's like if you put an object in front of you, you only see this object, you don't see any other object. That's the meaning. Set it up in front of you. Breathing in long, he knows I breathe in long. Breathing out long, he knows I breathe out long. Breathing in short, he knows I breathe in short. Breathing out short, he knows I breathe out short. He trains thus, experiencing the whole body, I will breathe in. He trains thus, experiencing the whole body, I will breathe out. He trains thus, tranquilizing the body conditioner, I will breathe in. He trains thus, tranquilizing the body conditioner, I will breathe out. I'll stop here for a moment. So, when he is practicing Anapana-sati, mindfulness of the breath or recollection of the breath, each breath he's aware. Each breath is a breath. When the breath is long, he's aware the breath is long. When the breath is short, he's aware he's short. In this practice of Anapana-sati, it is very important not to miss any breath. It's very important to make adhitthana, a determination that you will not let your mindfulness slip. If you don't make this determination, you are mindful one breath after another. Very soon your mind runs away. So you have to be very clear that you are not going to miss any breath. That's the only way. That's the meaning of setting up mindfulness in front of you. Don't let your mindfulness run away. You only see the breath. You're only aware of the breath, nothing else. So if the breath is long, he knows it's long. If it's short, he knows it's short. Experiencing the whole body. This whole body is the breath body. Experiencing the breath body. So if you want to experience the breath body, when the breath goes in, you also experience it going in. In other words, you can follow the breath. It's only later books like the Visuddhi Magga, they say you must put your attention at one point, and they say put your attention at the tip of the nose or at the upper lip. And the Buddha never said such a thing. They're just restricting yourself unnecessarily. So if you want to experience the breath goes in down to your tantin, to your abdomen. You can also follow the breath right down to the abdomen and out again. And then it says tranquilizing the body conditioner. What is the body conditioner? I think you all may have forgotten earlier we talked about sankharas. Kaya Sankara, the body conditioner is the breath. Because your body depends on the breath. Your body is alive because of the breath. So the body conditioner, Kaya Sankara, is the breath. So tranquilizing the breath, I will breathe in. Tranquilizing the breath, I will breathe out. In other words, you make your breath more and more quiet, more and more peaceful. Initially, when you start meditating, you are a bit agitated. Your breath is deep, and then slowly, as you sit longer, the breath becomes shorter and becomes more peaceful. That's what I mean by tranquilizing, making the breath more peaceful. He trains thus, experiencing delight, I will breathe in. He trains thus, experiencing delight, I will breathe out. He trains thus, experiencing happiness, I will breathe in. He trains thus, experiencing happiness, I will breathe out. He trains thus, experiencing the mental conditioner, I will breathe in. He trains thus, experiencing the mental conditioner, I will breathe out. He trains thus, tranquilizing the mental conditioner, I will breathe in. He trains thus, tranquilizing the mental conditioner, I will breathe out. Stop here for a while. As he practices this Anapana-sati, slowly the mind is able to concentrate on the breath. When he is able to concentrate on the breath, the mind is not so scattered. It becomes more towards one-pointedness of mind. Then the mind is not so strained. Our normal mind is very scattered. Our energy goes out through the eyes to see, through the ears to hear, through the nose to smell, through the tongue to taste, through the body to touch, and to the mind, out to the mind to think. So because of that, we are very stressed, especially if somebody is working the whole day. Your energy is all out through your eyes and your ears and all that. At the end of the day, you feel very stressed, very tired. So if you close your eyes and you do your meditation, slowly, your energy comes back in. And as the energy comes back in, you feel your mind becoming more, it becomes a healthy mind, not a sick mind, not a stressed mind. So because it is not stressed, then it becomes one-pointed. Then this piti starts, delight starts to arise. That's the beginning of one-pointedness of mind. So after that, happiness, sukha also you will experience. Then after that, experiencing the mental conditioner. What is the mental conditioner? Chitta Sankara. Earlier we read, Chitta Sankara is perception and feeling. Perception and feeling. Because when you have perception and feeling, then you have consciousness. Then the mind works. So the mind works dependent on consciousness, which also means dependent on perception and feeling, because they all come together. So when you experience perception and feeling, you breathe in and you out and breathe out. You experience perception of the breath, you experience the feeling of the breath. Then tranquilizing the mental conditioner, I will breathe in. Tranquilizing the mental conditioner, I will breathe out. You make the feeling calmer. As your meditation progresses, you become more and more calm. Your feeling becomes calmer and calmer. That's the meaning of tranquilizing the mental conditioners. Then he trains thus, experiencing the mind, I will breathe in. He trains thus, experiencing the mind, I will breathe out. He trains thus, gladdening the mind, I will breathe in. He trains thus, gladdening the mind, I will breathe out. He trains thus, concentrating the mind, I will breathe in. He trains thus, concentrating the mind, I will breathe out. He trains thus, liberating the mind, I will breathe in. He trains thus, liberating the mind, I will breathe out. This one, I guess, is a more advanced stage. When he goes into the mind, he's not aware of the external world. He's not aware of his body. As he goes deeper into the mind, then he experiences the mind. And then also the mind gives him gladness, gives him happiness. So that's why it says gladdening the mind, I will breathe in, gladdening the mind, I will breathe out. And then concentrating the mind becomes more and more concentrated as he goes deeper and deeper into the mind. Then liberating the mind, I will breathe in. This one liberating the mind, yes, not sure, maybe liberating the mind from the klesas, the defilements and all that. He trains thus, contemplating impermanence, I will breathe in. He trains thus, contemplating impermanence, I will breathe out. He trains thus, contemplating fading away, I will breathe in. He trains thus, contemplating fading away, I will breathe out. He trains thus, contemplating cessation, I will breathe in. He trains thus, contemplating cessation, I will breathe out. He trains thus, contemplating relinquishment, I will breathe in. He trains thus, contemplating relinquishment, I will breathe out. It is monks, when mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated in this way, that it is of great fruit and benefit. And this last part, I'm also not so sure. Contemplating impermanence. Maybe when he withdraws from jhana, then he can contemplate impermanence. Because when a person has entered jhana, and then he comes out of jhana, then only he can contemplate. In the state of jhana, you cannot contemplate. It's impossible to contemplate in jhana, because the state of jhana is a state where the asavas, the flow, the uncontrolled mental outflows stops. That's why they are the steps to nibbana, because if you are able to stop your asava from flowing for a short while, then only you have a chance of stopping the asavas permanently. If you cannot even stop the asavas for a short while, there's absolutely no chance for you to stop the asavas permanently. That's why without attaining the jhanas, there's no hope of becoming liberated. So when a person is in jhana, in the first jhana, it is said that you only have skillful thoughts. You don't have unskillful thoughts. Skillful thoughts meaning, for example, when you have attained the first jhana, then you think, I have to remember to retrace my steps next time. How did I arrive at this state? I have to remember what steps I took to arrive at this state so that I can repeat it. That type of thought is not connected with your home, with your office and all that. Then in the second jhana onwards, from the second jhana onwards, the mind becomes so strong that no thoughts can arise. You start to feel as though you have tapped all the energy from the solar system, the universe, as you are able to get all the energy from the universe, the mind becomes extremely strong. Then no thoughts can arise. No thoughts can arise. So from the second jhana onwards, there's no thoughts can arise. So it is impossible to contemplate inside jhana. Only when you withdraw from jhana. When you come out of jhana, the hindrances are already eliminated. The state is as peaceful as in the jhana. Then when you come out of jhana, then you can contemplate. So it says, contemplating impermanence, I will breathe in. Contemplating impermanence, I will breathe out. Contemplating fading away. Contemplating cessation. Contemplating relinquishment, letting go. So that's the explanation of the Buddha on how to practice the Anapana-sati. Now we come to 54.6 at Savatthi. There the Blessed One said, monks, do you develop mindfulness of breathing? When this was said, the Venerable Arita said to the Blessed One, Venerable Sir, I develop mindfulness of breathing. But in what way, Arita, do you develop mindfulness of breathing? And he said, I have abandoned sensual desire for past sensual pleasures. Venerable Sir, I have gotten rid of sensual desire for future sensual pleasures, and I have thoroughly dispelled perceptions of aversion towards things internally and externally. Just mindful, I breathe in. Mindful, I breathe out. It is in this way, Venerable Sir, that I develop mindfulness of breathing. And the Buddha said, that is mindfulness of breathing, Arita. I do not say it is not. But as to how mindfulness of breathing is fulfilled in detail, Arita, listen and attend closely, I will speak. Yes, Venerable Sir, the Venerable Arita replied. The Blessed One said, and how, Arita, is mindfulness of breathing fulfilled in detail? Here, Arita, a monk, having gone to the forest, to the foot of a tree, or to an empty hut, sits down, having folded his legs crosswise, straightened his body, and set up mindfulness in front of him. Just mindful, he breathes in. Mindful, he breathes out. And then this, the Buddha says, the description, just like what we read before. Breathing in long, he knows I breathe in long. Breathing out long, he knows I breathe out long. Breathing in short, he knows I breathe in short. Or breathing out short, he knows I breathe out short. He trains thus, experiencing the whole body, I will breathe in. He trains thus, experiencing the whole body, I will breathe out. He trains thus, tranquilizing the body conditioner, I will breathe in. He trains thus, tranquilizing the body conditioner, I will breathe out. He trains thus, experiencing delight, I will breathe in. He trains thus, experiencing delight, I will breathe out, etc. As in the 54.1 that we read. It is in this way, Arita, that mindfulness of breathing is fulfilled in detail. So this monk, Arita, he taught he is practicing Anapana-sati, but the Buddha said that is not the full development of Anapana-sati. The full Anapana-sati is consists of all those things that the Buddha mentioned. The next sutta is 54.7 at Savatthi. Now on that occasion, the Venerable Mahakapina was sitting not far from the Blessed One, with his legs folded crosswise, holding his body straight, having set up mindfulness in front of him. The Blessed One saw him sitting nearby, with his legs folded crosswise, his body straight, having set up mindfulness in front of him. Having seen him, he addressed the monks thus, "Monks, do you see any shaking or trembling in this monk's body?" And they said, "Venerable Sir, whenever we see that Venerable One, whether he is sitting in the midst of the Sangha or sitting alone in private, we never see any shaking or trembling in that Venerable One's body." And the Buddha said, "Monks, that monk gains at will, without trouble or difficulty, that concentration through the development and cultivation of which no shaking or trembling occurs in the body, and no shaking or trembling occurs in the mind. And what concentration is it? Through the development and cultivation of which no shaking or trembling occurs in the body, and no shaking or trembling occurs in the mind. It is, monks, when concentration by mindfulness of breathing has been developed and cultivated, that no shaking or trembling occurs in the body, and no shaking or trembling occurs in the mind. And how, monks, is concentration by mindfulness of breathing developed and cultivated, so that no shaking or trembling occurs in the body, and no shaking or trembling occurs in the mind. Here, monks, a monk having gone to the forest, to the foot of a tree, to an empty hut, sits down, having folded his legs crosswise, straightened his body, and set up mindfulness in front of him. Just mindful he breathes in, mindful he breathes out. And here the description is like before, the full description. It is, monks, when concentration by mindfulness of breathing has been developed and cultivated in this way, that no shaking or trembling occurs in the body, and no shaking or trembling occurs in the mind. That's the end of the sutta. This Venerable Mahakapina is one of the Arahants with great psychic powers. He's supposed to be a thin monk with a sharp nose. One of the four monks, when the Buddha went up to the Brahma heavens and emitted light, is one of those four who came to the Buddha. So his mind is very strong, so there's no trembling of his body and no shaking of his mind. When we sit in meditation, we are sitting properly, and normally we sit straight. It's only sometimes when the body is very tired, and then we can't help it. Sometimes the body stoops. Just like the Venerable Mahamoggallana, when he was practicing for 7 days and 7 nights without sleeping, he was already nodding. Then but he was still aware. When you are too tired, the body nods. So the Buddha came to him. And told him, "Be more mindful, Moggallana." And then because he knows that the Buddha is looking at him all the time, so he has to put in extra effort. That's how he attained arahanthood in 7 days. But if you are not too tired, normally, even though you're not sitting very straight, when the energy, the chi starts to go, then the body will naturally become straight. It will straighten the body by itself. I think I'll stop here for tonight. Anything to discuss?
Just one night, one day was sitting in a We also move in a simple style, because I just find that also in my training, I just want to know where is the first time I come to I would like to find out how do you find the joy in doing this when you are so enthusiastic in doing it every night?
This must be, I guess, my affinity from the past life. That's when I was 6 years old and 7 years old. Something happened. At that time I didn't know. But later I came to Buddhism only. I knew. One of them was when I went to school. When I was 7 years old, I went to school, primary school, standard 1. So the first day in school, one boy asked me what was my name. So I told him my lay name is Chun Hai. Chun Hai. So that's a Hokkien dialect. So he translated into Cantonese. He said Chun Hoi. So when he thought of Chun Hoi, he laughed. I told all the other boys, he said, Chun Choi, ni got Chun Choi. So I was telling all the boys, Chun Choi. So when that happened, I got annoyed, very annoyed. Then a strong thought flashed across my mind that I may be ignorant, I may be chun choi, I may be ignorant of worldly things, but I have the knowledge that surpasses the world. When I was 7 years old, I had this thought, I have the knowledge that surpasses the world. Then the next thing was, I asked myself, what is this knowledge that surpasses the world? I could not remember. So something like this, Years later, when I came to Buddhism, then only I recall. Then it struck me. So when I first came to Buddhism and I studied the suttas, I was so happy. I was not inclined to sleep. I just keep reading until I was very tired and I went to sleep. So this affinity.
How do we raise our enthusiasm in reading the sutta? Is there any way
you must understand, when you understand the suttas, the implication, every time you read a sutta, there are certain implications in the sutta. So if you understand, then it gives you great joy. Also, the suttas make plain to us a lot of things that should be common sense. A lot of things about the world should be common sense. Because of the 5 hindrances, we don't see so clearly. Our mind is blur. So when the Buddha says something, then it strikes us. Why didn't I think of it before? You see, like in the suttas, the Buddha said, "Loved ones give us pain. Those that we love give us pain." So in the sutta, there was somebody asked this. I forgot who was it. Then he agreed with the Buddha. He or she. Then he left. Or maybe he didn't agree. Then he saw a group of people gambling. Then he told them, I just went to see this Samana Gautama. He told me, loved ones give us pain. Then he said, how can loved ones give us happiness? Those who you love give us happiness. How can loved ones give us pain? Then the gambler said, how can this Samana Gautama say like this? And then they went to pass the word around. So these kind of things, when you are young, you haven't experienced dukkha yet, haven't experienced pain yet. You find it hard to believe. But if you ask our brother Albert, he will tell you, because of the love of the wife, and the wife passed away, so much pain. He asked Brother Mok, when the mother passed away, she didn't want to die. Even though the time had come, she told the children, I love you all so much, I don't want to go. This happens now and then. I hear a lot of these stories. Sometimes, I know one case of one lady, she had a few children. When she was dying, she told the husband she doesn't want to go home because she cannot let go of the husband. She said she can let go of the children, but cannot let go of the husband. The husband must be very special to her. On the other hand, some other lady I know who was dying of cancer, she said she can let go of the husband, cannot let go of the children. So I see those that we love so much. How can we bear to be parted from them? This is like there's one sutta. What's the name of the sutta? About one young man, he wanted to renounce. So after hearing the Dhamma, the Buddha's Dhamma, he wanted to renounce. So he asked his parents for permission. The parents would not give him permission. Then he asked a few times. And the mother said, "Wow, we love you so much. How can we let you go? Even if you were to die also, we also cannot bear to part from you. How now you're alive, how can we bear to part from you?" So he had to starve himself, refuse to eat, until eventually the parents let him renounce. Rattapala Sutta, the Majjhima Nikaya. So love binds us together. There's so many people when they die, they make a vow, want to meet again in the next life. Whether they meet or not, nobody knows. Even they meet us, they may forget. So love, things like this. When we don't understand the Dhamma, we want to cling to love. But when you understand the Dhamma, then you know you have to be careful. Love is good, but you have to moderate your love. Otherwise, when it goes away, it give you a lot of pain. Can we transfer merit now? Yes.